The days are getting shorter, and the fish are getting hungry. The fall feed bag is here, and you know our buddy Dave is out on the water making it happen. Or at least trying to.
No wonder he feels like he's hooked funny. Because he's a freaking freak. Oh my gosh. Oh man, look at that thing right there. That is a freak.
Here we go. Welcome to Facts of Fishing, the show. Brought to you by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here. Abu Garcia for life. Yamaha, conquer water. LiveTarget, lifelike lures. Action car and truck accessories, the right customer experience. Berkley, catch more fish. And Phoenix Bass Boats, experience the Phoenix difference.
Dave, your mic pack isn't on.
Oh. Here's how it works, folks. The microphone's over in that camera, but I'm sure this still works. Here's how it works. I swear. I know I live on this facade. I have to open up. I mean, it's a time in the world where people need to open up. I mean, I'm not afraid to throw a Ned head. I mean, I'll do it to get a show, and sometimes I swear. It's real life. Let's stop being fake. You know, people are on the internet, you know, they're a little bit more real and seem to be kicking TV's ass, so it's time we get a little more real here. So, a lot of that was beeped out, but sorry, I swear sometimes. It's free. Just do it. Not if you're a kid at home, but all quietly to yourself.
Smoke it. Oh, feels like a smallmouth. He's charging to me. Yeah, small jaw.
Not a shocker at all.
I mean, that hit is so awesome. I mean, these small jaw, I don't know what I'm talking about right now. I'm just excited I'm catching fish. Man, oh man, I love throwing a swim jig. As soon as that lake temperature starts to drop, it is just addictive and truly one of the most effective ways to get munched. Once that surface temperature starts to drop, gets down near the 60s, you get that bait swimming. And those dudes will get munching. Hey, we caught a bass, guys.
This segment is brought to you by Abu Garcia for life.
Little Berkley rocket craw. And why I use this one, it's real key. It's right there. See that little turn in the pincers? And that vibration when you reel that bait back when you're swimming a jig, I mean, there's so little that this bait does, but one of the keys is to have just a little bit of kick from your soft plastic. And I've tried, you know, ones that didn't have, you know, that were less kind of active looking, and just don't get as many bites. I mean, that kick really is what that fish feels. I mean, it feels that vibration moving through the water, and instead of rocket craw, gets munched.
In off-colored water, I'm always going to be throwing something with vibration. Baits like swim jigs and crankbaits can be worked quickly and pack a big punch when it comes to vibration.
That's a fish. It's a good one. Whoa, 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 whoa. See, he's just swimming with the crankbait and it's just loaded up. Oh man, look at the size of that largemouth. Goose. He's only got one hook in him. Oh, he's got another one in him now. Oh, look at that dude right there. And the hook just fell out. Man, that fish just loaded up on that rod, just started swimming towards me. Whew. And as you can see, those hooks were hardly in them. But that right there, that's a nice largoony. Big old yapper came up behind that crankbait and just pushed it. I don't care how they eat it, as long as they get it, especially when they look like that. Awesome fish. The whole key with this particular crankbait and the way I'm fishing it, it's all about feel. You really gotta learn to feel that bait and tickle it through the areas. You know, there's some areas that we're working through and there's some grass there, and when you get that on your bait, you just pop it off and keep it moving. But basically the whole way back to the boat, you're feeling that bait deflect off of all sorts of different things. Rocks, dying weed, that sort of thing. But you really gotta feel it. You got to pay attention to it, because if you kind of just mindlessly cast it and don't pay attention, half your cast back to the boat, your bait's just going to be fouled up. So you want to be able to feel that bait. Now I can feel boom, boom, boom. It's hitting rocks. When it hits that rock, I'll stop, let it kind of float away. You're working it through there. It's not that same mindless kind of crankbaiting's got a real good reputation for just cast it out, retrieve it back in, and every once in a while you'll feel one pull. You really gotta kind of work your bait through all these different rock piles, and if you don't pay attention, you're gonna be grinding through snags. But if you do pay attention, it's amazing how you can work a crankbait through an incredible amount of structure and cover. This is a good one too. Unless the pike, it's a bass, it's a good one. Good one. Smoking on the crank. Another giant. Wow, look at this fish. Man, dusted that crankbait. Wow. Big wallowing beast. Stay with us. Stay with us, friend. Ah, look at that fish right there. Man, smoke that crankbait. I don't need to catch tons of them. If I'm catching those ones, I'll take it. That's the right kind right there. How thick that fish is, man. That is a thick, thick fish. Man, what a beast. Munched the crankbait. I love it.
The rods in today's episode were threaded using the RTD rod threading device.
There's fish. Oh, smoked it. What do we got? I think we got a smallmouth this time around. Oh yeah, we got a giant smallmouth, big smallmouth. Oh wow. Look at the size of this small jaw. Oh, look at how he choked that crankbait. That is awesome. Look at that dude. You think he wanted that crankbait? Absolutely choked it. Whew. Here we go. Look at that dude right there. Choked that crankbait. Largemouth, smallmouth, I don't care. They are all doing the exact same thing this time of year, and that is feeding up. And when they're eating your crankbait like that, whew, you know you're throwing the right bait. Whew. Man, look at that small jaw. That bait just disappeared in his yap. Oh man, they know these days are getting shorter, and they gotta start munching and munching in a big, big way. Fish. Oh, what do we got? Another smallmouth, I think, right off that point here. Yeah, another good smallmouth. Wow, that's a good fish right there. Oh, I gotcha. Get the hooks out of you. Not a giant, but a chunk small jaw. And that's the cool thing about throwing a crankbait this time of year. I mean, you're gonna catch a bunch of different fish, and it's just an effective tool at covering a bunch of water. So covers a bunch of water, and in turn, generally gets you a mixed bag of goodness. Gonzo. Man, oh man. Always check that line. Fishing around these rocks like that, you always got to pay attention to that line. But little Frankenstein getting it done today. Slowly bouncing that bait off of every single rock the whole way back. I mean, that's the whole key with this bait, the way it bounces and ricochets off of things. There's times when you're crankbaiting when you don't have a lot of bottom contact at all, but when you're throwing this bait, you want that bait banging into things, and it's when that bait hits something and when it turns a different direction, that's when you really trigger the strikes with this bad boy. Look and follow her. Oof. Come on back. There he is. Followed it. First time that he came back. Good one too. Oh man. Oh, he's not that big. Well, I'll take him. Mr. Largooni. Oh, a little chunker. He ate it though. Little chunker. Thought he was bigger when he first ate it. Easy. So nice I caught this fish twice. Oh, little chunker. See ya. Whew. I'll take it. I thought he was bigger.
This segment is brought to you by Hook Performance Fishing.
There's a fish. Look at them. Look at them. A short and stocky largemouth. I mean, look at that. I mean, there'll be a lot of shows where they catch a much larger largemouth, but look at the proportions. I mean, he's healthy fish. Healthy fish. There you go, guys. That's a beautiful specimen right there. You tune in to see, I'm sure. Go on, get little guy. Oh, fish, yep. Oh, another smallmouth. Another smallmouth. Spot lock right here. No, they're big smallie. She's gonna jump in the boat. Man, oh man, these fish. They're not, you know, all ganged up in one area yet. They are basically, you know, all of these fish, they will group together eventually, but right now they're kind of spread out. And that's one of the reasons that a crankbait is such a effective tool to get them. Oh, I got you, little dude. I got you. Hammered that crankbait. Largemouth, smallmouth, don't matter. They are munching it. It's all about covering water and getting that bait in front of the target, and the target this time of year is basically hard cover. Anywhere where there's hard cover, it doesn't matter whether it's rock or wood, you know, the weed is all starting to die and they're all starting to spread out from it, and they head to that hard cover, and you bang this bad boy along that hard cover, and you're gonna get munched. And you're gonna get munched. So much better the second time, wasn't it? It's a fish. Where are you, dude? I got this fish hooked funny. It feels heavy, man. Feels like he's hooked funny, though. Oh, it's a giant largemouth. It is a freak. Dude, it is a giant largemouth. No wonder he feels like he's hooked funny. Because he's a freaking freak. Oh my gosh. Oh man, look at that thing right there. Oh, that is a freak panda right there. Freak. Fall cranking for freaks. And that, my friend, is a freak. Whew. Man, you cover a lot of water. Oh. And every once in a while, you get it in front of the right kind. And that right there is definitely the right kind. Big old beastie.
Dave fished for 6.5 hours, made 382 casts, and caught 9 fish. That's it for the score. Now time for the facts. Dave used a Berkley Rocket Craw rigged on a 1/2 ounce swim jig. and a LiveTarget hunts for center Craw crankbait. Both fished on an Abu Garcia Veracity casting rod paired with a REVO EXD casting reel. Spooled up with 15-pound test Berkley X9 Braided Line with a Fluorocarbon leader. Dave also used a Berkley Powerbait Maxscent, the General, on a Trokar Finesse Jighead. Thrown on an Abu Garcia Fantasista spinning rod, paired with an MGXtreme spinning reel. Spooled up with 10-pound test Berkley X9 Braided Line and a Fluorocarbon leader. And that's the facts.